Yo, what's going on, y'all? I want to thank you if you're tuning in. I'm your host, Paco. You're listening to Occupy the Media, and you're back. Okay, so we're talking about Jesse Benton. Now, before the break, if you missed it, Jesse Benton's on a conference call and gets a question asked about Mitt Romney and says it's a good question. The reporter asked him, is there a chance anybody in your Ron Paul supporters will support Mitt Romney? He says it's up for grabs. Now, we need to break this down because it's really tough to figure out what in the world is going on with the campaign right now. We know that Ron Paul tends to be a little soft. You know, he gives the right answers. He gives the correct answers. Well, unfortunately, Ron Paul allows himself to be a target. And there's a strategy involved with that. The more that he becomes a target and gets hit, the more apparent it is of what's going on, and therefore he can win more people over. So I kind of think it's a genius idea in a sense. Just continuously being a target and being peaceful and making it harder for them to hate you and to disrespect you. Now, with that being said, though, there's certain things that cross the line or definitely need to be spoken about. And one thing is about this with Jesse Benton addressing us supporting Mitt Romney. Now, Ron Paul has to come out and endorse Mitt Romney, and he won't come out and endorse Mitt Romney. He knows better than that. I think the only reason why he won't come out and flat out say it is because he doesn't want even more, more propaganda from the media. The media basically taking more shots and more hits at him. Now, I don't understand. I mean, I would think that maybe it should still be okay to just come out and say you're not going to endorse him, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason why he doesn't want to just come out and say it like that. Make it seem like he's playing ball and being friendly and trying to unite somewhat, but only if he changes his ideas, because Ron Paul always says he doesn't know if he's going to support Mitt Romney unless his ideas change. Now, we know what that means, though. But for Jesse Benton to say that Ron Paul supporters are pretty much, it's up for grabs, it's not up for grabs, okay? And this is what's so fishy about it. We're not going to back Mitt Romney, and what Jesse Benton is doing is Jesse Benton seems to be going along with the media narrative. And that's creating a problem. If the Ron Paul campaign is going to jump on the media narrative, they're going to make it twice as hard for us. Twice as hard for us and twice as easy for the media. Now, I don't know if Ron Paul is being spoken to. Who knows? He could be getting threats. You know, that's one thing that people cannot discredit. But what happens behind the scenes? Secret conference calls, secret meetings, background meetings, stuff like that. We don't know what anybody can says and what type of threats can be made. You know, remember how big of a threat Ron Paul is. So that could be happening. Now, the pros and cons of this, I feel like, with this email coming out, you know, Ron Paul, I do think it's a good thing that Ron Paul is changing his strategy. I almost feel like he didn't even have to make that announcement, though, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason for that, to kind of build up his supporters, get us upset about the fact that he still has a chance and that he still needs to be in this race, and possibly even motivate us, some of us, to donate more money because that's what he needs. But the thing that just really gets me is the fact that that part in the email that says that Mitt Romney is probably going to be the nominee. Now, the media is taking these delegates based off of the beauty contest and adding delegates accordingly, which isn't right and it isn't proper. There isn't the right delegate numbers. So instead of us agreeing with the numbers, we need to point out the fact that these numbers are wrong to begin with. But by the campaign basically coming together with the media and saying, yeah, you're right, he's probably going to get the nominee, he's real close to getting the amount of delegates, you're giving them the narrative that they want. You're going with their narrative, and that's not helping, because what they're going to do now is try to take these beauty contests and try to get Mitt Romney the nominee when he really doesn't have it. Now, we have quite a few primaries left, and going off of their estimates and the way that they're adding up the totals, they could probably give Mitt Romney the nominee. But we all know that it isn't right, because you cannot count the delegates until the conventions are done. All the conventions haven't been done, so how can you say who has what? You can't. And the media wants Romney to reach the end as quick as possible, so that way they can end this race and start calling him the definite nominee. And what our campaign needs to do is stop that and say, no, these numbers are not right and they're wrong. But Jesse Benton just threw us under the bus by saying that agreeing that the numbers are correct, or that Mitt Romney is about to be the eventual nominee. And that's why I don't appreciate, A lot of us have been working hard. A lot of us have been giving up, man, jobs, time, family, all types of things. We don't need people on our own side throwing us under the bus. And that's what I kind of feel like with that. You know, and this thing about we need to be cordial and respectful and all this. I mean, again, I have no problem with you telling us that. But don't tell us that if you're not going to mention what's going on for real. Okay? Mitt Romney's supporters are the ones throwing the punches. They're the ones working with the establishment. They're the ones busting people in. They're the ones breaking the rules. They're the ones doing all this. Okay? We're the ones exposing it and calling it out. Now, if we didn't call any of the cheating or any of this stuff going on, if we didn't call any of it out, everything would be fine. The media would love us. They'd go right along with the convention because every convention would be a sham. And they'd be getting all the delegates for Romney. But because we're not sitting there and taking it, and we're speaking out, even without Ron Paul giving us the go-ahead, they can't control us. And so I feel like if there is moles inside the Ron Paul campaign, if there is some type of power grab on the campaign from within, then this is proof of it. Because this is exactly what they would want if that's the case. And we've all have questions about who it is that's working within the campaign, who's all in the campaign. We know Ron Paul can't keep his eyes on everything, but we do have questions, and this is definitely one of them. This is not the time to be giving the media any fuel to add to their fire. It's not the time for that at all. And so I know a lot of Ron Paul supporters kind of felt upset, kind of felt a little disrespected, and I could definitely understand, because, word is, some rumors going around that it started within the Ron Paul campaign that him and Romney were, buddy-buddy. And rumor is it was Benton and some other people that didn't want to take shots at Romney during the campaign. Now, that sounds like something the establishment would want and somebody on the inside would be working with the establishment to create. And I tell you, boy, if there's moles in the Ron Paul campaign, boy, they better hope they don't get exposed. They better hope so, because their reputation will be ruined 10 times worse than any of these media whores out here. We expect that from them. We don't expect that from people that's on the inside and supposed to be helping us out. We've heard of moles in Ron Paul's campaign last time around when he was doing them sucky campaign commercials, wondering what in the world is this. And so we guys, what I tell everyone now, what we got to do now is just forget it. Whether Ron Paul's in it or not, whether Ron Paul drops out or not, don't even matter. Ron Paul is going to be president because we're going to make him be president. He ain't got no choice no more. The establishment doesn't have a choice no more. And think about it. Every day, we're only getting bigger. Every day, we're only growing. Okay? And they're losing. So we got the momentum. And they're scared of that. They fear that. So I say we don't stop no matter what. We're going to keep it going regardless of what's going on. Ron Paul will be president. As far as I'm concerned, Jesse Benton didn't say anything. Scratch that out of your memory. We're going to keep it pushing. We'll be back after the break. I'm Paco, your host.
If you have enjoyed the programming on Ron Paul Radio Network, please go to ronpaulradio.com/support. That's ronpaulradio.com/support and make your small donation. All revenues received by the network go toward paying expenses and upgrading our service to you and to the Liberty Movement. As always, we pledge our transparency so that you can rest comfortably knowing that your dollars are hard at work, bringing radio to the revolution. That's ronpaulradio.com/support to make your donation today.
An idea whose time has come cannot be stopped by any army or any government. Freedom brings people together. We got to get the truth out. That is what we need.
This national poll shows that Ron Paul is the best candidate that stacks up against Obama.
Well, Ron Paul wants to take away my Social Security, so I don't like him.
He's actually the only candidate that has a real plan to save your Social Security. Not only save it, but save the purchasing power of your monthly check.
Prices have been going up a lot lately.
We need to make cuts. Bring our troops home to protect our own